Love these discussions. We'll continue our discussion here on the yoga mat as you take a comfortable seat. Sit up nice and tall from the spine. Close the eyes or turn your gaze low. And allow yourself the breath in and out through the belly, in and out through your nose as much as possible through this time. As we welcome ourselves to Yoga Hour today, the word of the day is blank, as in blank space, blank canvas. It's a little more blank behind me. Allow yourself this fresh, clean time. Forget about all the poses you love and the poses you hate and just let it be open. Experience each from a clear space today. With that in mind, take 2 more deep breaths in belly, ribs, chest, out from the chest, through the ribs and belly. Full breath in. Complete breath out. Nod the chin down to your chest and rock the right ear towards the right shoulder. Chin to chest, left ear to left shoulder, just back and forth a little bit here. Nice, easy warm up here. Keep chin down to the chest. Take both hands behind your head and nuzzle the head up into our hands. That stronger contraction of strength on the front side. Nice stretch along the back side. Then release the hands. Open your eyes up as you lift the chin. Okay, take your right hand all the way up to the sky. Big full reach. And then lean a little bit over. Look up. Inhale, come back to your center. Switch arms. Left arm up, lean a little bit over. We're on Yoga Hour sequence 9 today. It usually starts standing. I'm giving us a little bit of a break, and we're starting sitting, but still doing our side bends and reaches. Both arms up to the sky, and then imagine that you just got punched in the gut. Oh. And like cat back, round your back and send your arms forward. And then squeeze the tips of your shoulder blades in towards each other. And pull your chest through. Your arms should feel a little bit more locked in place, and try to take your arms back overhead. Good. Keep your right arm up again and then let it loose so you get a little longer. Lean off to the side, but instead of putting weight on that bottom hand, lift it up. Try to keep sending your shoulders open. Reach your head back a bit. Looking good. Come on back up. Again, punched in the gut. And then squeeze tips of the shoulder blades in as you pull the chest through and arms up to the sky. Again, you should feel a little stuck here. And we'll take it to the other side. Let the shoulder loose. And over. And then lift that bottom hand to try to touch the top hand. It's easy to want to turn the shoulders and head down. Try to keep it open to the side. Notice all the work we're having to do in the abdomen to hold us there. Both arms back up. This time you can lean all the way forward and come to child's pose. So change all the way over to child's pose. As you guys find child's pose, make just a couple of adjustments for us. Reach your arms out nice and long. Come up to fingertips. Lift your forearms, elbows, upper arm bones to the sky. Walk the hands over towards the right side. Enjoy a full reach from the left hand and pull back towards the left hip. Walk the hands across the center, on over to the second side. We do this in almost every class, but can you try something slightly different that feels brand new, like you just painted it for the first time? And then come back to your center, rise up to all fours, cat and cow. Move the spine back and forth here. Just enjoy the changes, the movement back and forth. And downward facing dog. Tuck the toes, lift your hips up, pedal out the feet. Continue this little bit of movement and ease with it. Just pedal through, shake out the head. What is there to find today? Find a still point in downward facing dog. Enjoy your breath through the stillness in the outer form. Change to plank pose. Shoulders right over the back of the wrist. Pull the heels in tight and then squeeze your glutes. Lengthen the tailbone, tone your belly. Gaze a little ahead of your hands, stay right there. We can do this for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower your knees down to the yoga mat. Slide your right arm under the left. Twisted child's pose with your butt high, shoulder, ear, side of the face down to the floor. Take your left arm up to the sky. Lower the left hand back down, unthread the right arm. Right into the second side, left arm goes under. Shoulder, ear, side of the face down. Take the right hand high. All right hand goes back beside your face. Come on up to all fours. Stretch just your right leg back so you're kind of in a half plank there. Hold for a moment. Extend the left arm out in front. Hold for a moment. Lift the right leg up now, and again, hold. Lower the left hand, lower the right knee. Nice and slow like that on the second side. Left leg extends back, toes tucked in on the ground. Just kind of noticing what each layer takes. Lift the right arm up. How do you subtly shift in the balance? And then left leg up. Hold it. Squeeze the upper inner thighs in towards each other, so in towards the midline of the body. If you flex the left foot, make sure the toes are pointed down to the floor, keeping front hip points pointed down. Okay, arm, leg down, go back to downward facing dog. Balance on your right hand, the outer edge of the right foot. Side plank here. You can stack the feet or step forward. If you prefer bottom knee down, that works too. Look down at the bottom hand here to keep a nice steady balance and focus. And then switch sides, left hand down. Turn to the outer edge of the left leg. Again, the right foot can stack, step forward, or instead use bottom knee down. And then go back to full plank and lower flat down to the yoga mat. Interlace your hands behind your back and lift everything that you can up away from the mat. And this belly down back bend, keep squeezing the heels towards each other and try to lift more from your thighs. Of course, if the hands don't want to interlace here, they don't have to. And then lower it all down and reach the hands out in front of you. Superhero pose. Inhale, lift. Arms and legs can start wider apart like the shape of an X. And then try to pull them both in towards each other. Narrow the lines, maybe even touch the feet, touch the hands. Exhale, lower it down. Push back to child's pose. Looking good. Change to downward facing dog. Side plank one more time. Right hand, outer edge of the right foot. Take the variation that works for you. Left arm up to the sky. In any form of side plank, make sure to feel as though your hips are lifted, belly strong. If this is too much pressure in wrist or shoulder, bottom knee down is a nice exercise. Switch to your second side. Left hand, outer edge of the left foot, your variation. Each day is different. Why we want to come at it from that blank slate and space. Each side of the body might need a little something. Make sure to be your best teacher and observer. Come back to plank pose. Again, lower down to the yoga mat. This time, take the hands behind your head. Try to point the elbows out to the side. Keep the legs straight and lift. To make it more doable, feet wider, elbows more forward. More challenging, feet together, elbows out to the sides. Lower everything down. Press back to child's pose for a breath. Okay, change to sit down on your mat, feet out in front of you. Crab walk or inverted table pose. Hands go behind you. I like to point my thumbs towards the heels and the hands out to the side. Rotate the hands in the way that works for you, your shoulders in particular, and then lift up. So hands out to the side is kind of a halfway approach. Squeeze in the glutes. Look down the line of your chest and belly. Try to lift the belly up with breath as you lift the hips up with strength. And then lower. Cross at your ankles. How quickly can you flip over to downward facing dog? See what happens. Find downward facing dog. Right leg up into the air, three-legged dog. Step it all the way forward into a high lunge. First lunge. Come upright in the torso, lift the arms to the sky. Turn the palms to face in towards each other. An extra strong squeeze in the back glute. And then sit a tiny bit lower in the front thigh. With all those things in place, just stay right there. Add a twist, left elbow to the outside of the right knee. Try to bring the hands towards the chest and the right elbow to the sky. Squeeze your belly onto your thigh, leaving no air, no space between belly and thigh. Nice safe twist for mid to low back that way. And then untwist, set the hands down, step it all the way back to down dog. Lift your left leg up into the air, three-legged dog. Step it all the way forward. Keep the feet hip distance apart so there's a more ease in finding the high lunge, the balance, the control. Just like before, we're thinking tailbone as much down to the floor as possible. Sometimes a little bend in the back knee can help to situate that bowl of the pelvis. And then keeping that, you straighten out the back leg as much as works. Now to add the twist, we change the tilt of the pelvis. It looks like body forward but back. Palms together, right elbow towards the outside of the left thigh. You can dig it in a little bit there. Good. A couple more breaths right here. And then untwist, set the hands down, step it back, again, downward facing dog. Okay, last set of side plank, right hand, outer edge of the right foot. Come at it like you haven't already done this. So try to strip away and just be right here, this breath, this moment, this side plank. Switch to your second side. How you get in, how you get out, the variations you choose, it's all open. Full plank. Set both hands down, strong legs, whether you're on your toes or the knees, squeezing the glutes. Stay here at the top of plank again for a count of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nicely done. Lower it down to your mat. Cobra, press through your hands and feet. Peel the chest up. Big full breath. As you lower back down, press to child's pose. Change to sit on your bum again. Take the feet out in front of you. Now, soles of the feet for that same reverse table that we did before. Press through your hands and feet. Lift your hips up. And then when we did table pose on hands and knees before, and we did one leg at a time, I want you to do that. So stretch your right leg straight, flex the foot, toes can be up. And then can you add the second leg? If your hips go way down there, either push them back up or take back to your foot. Now stretch through the front of your ankle to try to get 10 toes down to the mat. And then can you step your left foot back in, your right foot back in, lower it down. Excellent work in shoulders and upper body there. Downward facing dog, flip back over. This time, bend your knees and walk your hands backwards to your feet. Nice slow roll up to standing. This is my favorite sequence in this class. Right knee up to the chest here. Hook both hands under your thigh and make the leg as straight as it'll go. Keep the leg as straight as it'll go. As high as you can go. And unleash the hands, arms up to the sky. Step your right foot all the way forward now into a high lunge. Warrior two, spin the back heel down, open up side to side. When I say open up side to side, it's draw the shoulders open, the hips open to the long edge of the mat. Side angle, right elbow down to the knee, or the hand reaches further, left arm overhead. Long side reach. Well done, friends. Take the hands down either side of the front foot. Step it all the way back to down dog. Walk your hands backwards to your feet. Roll on up to standing. Hands to the waistline. Lift your left knee up and into the chest. Hook underneath your thigh for support. Always working progressive stages here, so you take as many of the progressions as work for you. Straighten the leg. Take the arms overhead. Step it back, high lunge. I should say step it forward, high lunge. Warrior two, spin the back heel down, open up. Shoulders broad across the collarbone. Nice full lift in your chest. Side angle pose, left elbow to your knee, reach top arm, palm down overhead. Again, look down towards your left foot, circle the hands to either side, and step it back, downward facing dog. Look towards your hands and step or jump to the front of your mat now. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Stand up, reach the arms to the sky. Palms together, center of your chest. One round of Surya Namaskar B. Bend your knees. Utkatasana, sit into your thighs, extend the arms. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Step, jump back, chaturanga. Lift for cobra or up dog and do downward facing dog. Warrior one, step your right foot in between the hands, spin back heel down, come upright. We're doing just one breath there. And then lower the hands, go back, chaturanga dandasanas, that low push-up line, hover into your cobra or up dog, down dog. Second side. Left foot forward, warrior one. Lower the hands. Vinyasa flow through. Stay in dog pose. Next, inhale, look to your hands. Exhale, step or jump to the front. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Utkatasana, chair pose. Stand up, palms to the heart space. Have enough room in front of you to extend a leg again. So right knee up and into the chest like we've already done. Hook the arms again under your thigh. This time, take the left hand, the opposite hand, cross the midline of the body, arch forward to try to hold on to the pinky toe side of that right foot. Once you're there, we're going to stand up as much as we can, stretch the right leg out, look over your right shoulder like the shoulders did in Warrior Two, just the sequence before. Try to keep the right leg as high as you can. Release the arms. Take them back up to the sky. Warrior Three, kick your legs straight back behind you. Hinge from the hips. Make a T shape in the body. Ready for this one? Can you add dancer pose? Reach your right hand back towards your right foot and lift up. If you're falling down, it's kind of the name of the game here. Give yourself that opportunity to be blank and explore what happens today. 2 feet to the ground and shake it out. Lift the left knee up and into the chest. Again, you're going to round your back forward a little bit and take your right hand across to try to hold the outside of the left foot. And then we lift the head up towards the sky and extend the left leg as straight as it'll go. Left arm back. Try to twist so both shoulders face the long side of your mat. Untwist, arms up to the sky. This is where I always fall off balance. Try your best. Ooh, Warrior Three, kick it back. Walls are friends. Feel free to use one. Left hand to your left foot. Dancer pose, Natarajasana. Coming at it from Warrior Three. There's probably less back bend involved here. You've got the lever of the pelvis more tilted down and forward. Stand on 2 feet. Lift both arms up to the sky. How amazing that we can do this. Here for the practice, here for whatever comes. Squat, turn the toes out, heels are in, sit low. Keep your feet flat on your yoga mat, which means your seat might be higher or lower. If your upper arm bones can go to the inner thighs, press the arms into the thighs to try to pull your head, your chest up more towards the sky. As gracefully or not as your body goes, we're sitting down onto the mat into boat pose. Stretch your arms out, stretch your legs out. You're going to fall a little back on the sits bones, but try to be forward. That's the game. Go halfway down. Build it up. Twice more, go halfway down. Build it up. Halfway, and build it up. Hug your knees into your chest and roll all the way down onto your back. Take the hands out to a T shape. Good, first option, knees over the line of the hips. 90-degree bend. Legs are gonna hover here over the ground. Take the legs over towards your right side, but hover. Firmly rotated pose. Bring the knees back to the center. Over to the second side. And then back to the center. Now, if you're wanting to up-level that, it's straight legs. Everybody again goes towards the right. If you're doing it with straight legs, try to send your feet to hover right over your right hand. And legs go back up, knees over the line of the hips. To the second side. Again, hovering the knees with a bend or straight legs with feet close to your left hand. And bring it back into the center. Dead bug pose. Both hands go up, feet about as wide as the hips. Lift your head and shoulders off of the mat. Do crane pose on your back here, meaning bend your knees until we try to make the knees touch our upper arm bones. Make the feet, inner edges of the feet touch. Look in between your lifted arms. Keep the arms as straight as you can. Keep lifting your head and shoulders off of the mat. So it's just your mid-back that touches the ground. It's all that same activation is needed, of course, when we're balancing on our hands. Lower it down. Just give your knees a hug, a couple of breaths. Rock your way up to a seated position. And then all the way over to all fours. In all fours, enjoy cat and cow like it's the very first time. Explore here. Feel free to rock a little more side to side, create circles, whatever feels nice to you. Cat and cow. Moo and meow. Nobody will know you're on mute. When you find neutral spine again, send your right foot forward. Bring the hands up to your right thigh. Great. Squeeze the legs strong in towards the midline, front to back and side to side, and then go down and forward in the hips. Keep your front knee over the middle of your foot. All right, take the arms up. If you feel this hanging or sitting in the low back, just lift your legs up a little bit more until it's not. Easy fix. It's only better when it's lower if it feels better. One more breath like this. Lower the hands down, lift up your back knee. Okay, stages. Take the hand to the inside of your foot. Low lunge with both hands to the inside of our foot. We're here. Go to palms, bend the elbows, we're here. Still good, thread your right hand, thumb, first finger like a horseshoe, hook it behind your heel to help nuzzle your right shoulder under the right thigh. Good there, take the right hand to the outside pinky toe side of the right foot. From underneath. Keep your right leg hooked over your shoulder. Let's try lifting the right leg off of the ground. It can hug in or extend out. Left leg still is on the ground, left toes on the ground. Unwrap this all back to a good old regular low lunge. Lower the left knee down, all fours. You probably had some feelings about that. Let it be different on the second side. Okay, left foot forward. I should say, just don't put on the second side what you thought came out of the first. This one's different, it's new. Hands up to the front thigh. Send your hips down and forward to the degree it works. And arms to the sky. Now the knee wants to lean out towards the side a little bit. Try to keep hugging it towards the midline. That'll give you the good action in the adductors that we need when we hook the leg over our shoulder. Okay, hands go to the inside of the foot. Pick up the back knee. Do the stages. Progress to the stage that is still working for you. Flat palms, bend the elbows. Horseshoe, left thumb and first finger behind the left heel. You're close to the ground, even if you fall, even if you fail at the next stage, no big deal. We've learned something in failing. We tell that to our kids, right? Set the hand flat. Okay, back toes are tucked and they stay on the floor the whole time. Can you lift your left heel up? Can you get your toes up? Maybe extend the left leg. Find your way back to all fours. Stretch to downward facing dog. Apt song for this time in class. Let it go. See what's next. Down dog. You're right here. Come forward to plank pose. Lower flat down to the belly. Pull your chest up for cobra. Downward facing dog. All right, let's put some pieces of the puzzle together. We did crane pose on our back. Try walking your knees in towards your hands until, like you did on your back, you can make your knees and upper arm bones touch. And then kick one heel towards your seat and set it down. Kick the other heel to your seat and set it down. Do the same thing or bring both feet up at the same time. If you found your crane pose, stay with it. And then everyone walks it back to downward facing dog. Set your knees down, turn your palms up, sit back in child's pose. Give yourself a break for a moment. Shift a little bit side to side. We're working a lot this month with our one-legged crane pose. So we've done all the component parts here. Go back now to downward facing dog. And today I want to start by walking your hands backwards and just stand on up. Little different entry than I've been doing over the classes in the last week here to give us some different exposure. So you're going to just stand with your right foot more forward and your left foot more back, like a boxing stance. Yeah? Right leg more forward, left leg more back. Drop your shoulders, your chest into that center space and try to hook, like we've just done, your right shoulder under the right leg. So in this case, my seat is rather high, feet just a little wider than the hips apart. Now your front leg is ready for one-legged crane pose. Your back leg is ready for Bakasana, for crane pose that we just did. So we're gonna try to walk in first that left knee and set it with the heel up on the upper left arm bone. Try just that left leg, oh my goodness, on the left arm bone. And then as your butt comes down, it'll give you the leverage to take your right foot off of the ground. If your right foot is off of the ground, you stay, you hold, or you get fancy and you extend the right leg out towards the side. If you did it in the pose before, you'll know it's a matter of finding your way. And then you're gonna work your way all the way out and just Come back up to standing. Letting you find your way. Good. Trying to just unlock some of the secrets here. So then we've got left foot forward, right foot back. In this little huddle position, instead of taking off, sprinting forward, you're going to drop down low. Use the horseshoe of your left hand to try to get the left shoulder down. And you might be just kind of playing with the rock a little side to side, and then stick it. Okay, hands are a lot like downward facing dog. I'm going to keep turning directions. Hopefully it's helpful. Where you're trying to have your hands a little wider than your shoulders, and your left foot is on the ground. Lift your left heel up, and at the same time, try placing your right knee onto your upper right arm bone. Whew, that's a ton of core strength, very pretzely and low in the hips. Can you get your butt low enough to bring your left heel up and maybe leg out to the side? Back leg, like crane pose, front leg wrapped over the shoulder. And again, you transition out of this pose, however works best for you. Circle the wrists. Do all the things. Come up, find mountain pose at the top of your mat. I've often read Tadasana is the pose that holds all poses. Take in your knowledge and yet be blank and open for what happens in this practice. Okay, stretch the arms up. We're ready for a little more. I know we are. Exhale, fold. Standing forward fold, fingertips out in front of you. Make the legs as straight as they'll go. Keeping the hands on the ground. Just stretch and enjoy the length through the back of the legs. Feet can come wider apart to give a little more space. Knees can stay bent to the degree that feels best in low back and hamstrings. Okay, we are changing it to pigeon pose. I'm going to go to downward facing dog. And then slide the right knee behind the right wrist, heel towards the left hip, lower the left leg, walk it back. Come down to your forearms. Adding twisted pigeon, left elbow down to the mat, stack the palms, look towards your right side, lift the right elbow up towards the sky. Now I'm keeping a lot of distance today, left elbow to right knee. But remember how when we do a lunge with a twist, we often hook that elbow to the outside of the thigh. You're free to take that same hook here. Just keep working to balance the weight. And then we'll safely come out of the twist, both forearms down to the mat. Just that one direction today. Lift back to the hands, lift the torso, switch sides. Move through down dog, slide the left knee forward behind the wrist, heel towards the right hip. And that heel in towards the hip is a little more conservative approach. As long as we're getting a stretch through the outer hip and our knee feels happy with us, we're in a good spot. this is troublesome to you, we always lie down on the back and do more of the figure 4 shape. And if you're looking for a little more stretch and opening and you have good, safe, strong knees and hips, you could always pull that heel out away from the hip more to a parallel line with the knee in front of the mat. All right, if you're going for the twist, added here, right elbow either planted down on the mat or if you're taking it all the way across the thigh, left elbow more up towards the sky. Good, good, good. Release. Walk it up to your hands. Back to downward facing dog. Come forward to plank. Lie flat down. Flip over onto your back. Once on your back, set the soles of your feet to your mat, knees straight up to the sky. Bridge pose, reach the hands to brush close to your heels, and then push down through your feet, shoulders, and head, and lift your hips up. And bridge pose, squeeze your glutes. We're still powering through those legs. You can interlace the hands underneath you, kind of roll the shoulders up and in. Sometimes I prefer just to hold on to the edges of the yoga mat, a little more doable that way. If every single time you come to bridge pose, you find a little twinge of pain in the knees, it's normal. Normal that it happens if you have twinges in your knees. So in that case, to help yourself, you can just take your feet wider, even turn the toes out a little bit. It's like my optimal alignment might be just a tiny bit different than yours. And the friend across from you on the screen. So keep playing. Where does the pose work for you? Let's all lower it back down, give ourselves a moment to take it in. One more big back bend here. You can choose to repeat bridge pose. You can go to upward facing bow, hands by your shoulders, with the elbows in your peripheral vision. Either one of those offerings, it still, again, starts in the legs. Lift your hips up, press down into your feet, shoulders, back of the head. Bridge pose, you adjust your hands, adjust the feet. Upward facing bow, go to the top of the head or to straight arms. And slowly come down from your pose. Everyone hug the knees back into the chest. Nice, strong squeeze in. Take the arms out to a T shape. We did firmly rotated pose before with the hover. This time, a little more restful. Drop the knees all the way towards the right. And stay there for a few breaths. Supine twist. Okay, if both knees are over towards the right, you should have your left leg on top. Can you hold on to that left pinky toe edge of your foot in the right hand. We did this as a standing balance. Sometimes it's hard to picture ourselves in those balance poses because there's so much more going on. So I want you to create the picture of the pose here. Then can you stretch your right leg straight down towards the short end of the yoga mat? It's going to take some wiggling probably to get ish there. Legs about in an L shape. Doing our best. And then bring it all back into the center. It's always a good highlight for me of why I think that pose is so hard to balance in. It's hard when you're not having to balance. Okay, hands back out to your T. Drop both knees over towards the left side. And enjoy this. And then we're gonna make the changes with one or with both legs. So maybe you just wanna try the top leg. Right leg extends. Try to hold on, pinky edge, outer edge of the foot. Awesome IT band stretch there. Maybe it's enough. And the second piece of work is getting that bottom leg. First, maybe the knee to point down towards the short end of your mat. Also straightening the leg. Grunt and groan around with it, it helps. I'll fly away. Come back into the center. Hug your knees in. Stretch both legs straight up towards the sky here. Hold on behind your calves. Bring your feet towards your head. Nice stretch through the back. Into the legs. You can lift your back off of the ground, butt off the ground a bit here to get a little deeper into this supine forward fold. And ever so slowly unwiggle, unwind. If there's any last bits of movement or another pose you'd like to add in, go for it. But then when you are ready, find stillness. That stillness can be available to you lying down in Shavasana, on your back. If you prefer, on your side, or a seated position. It is all up to you. Just as we asked for each pose that came to be from a blank space, a clean canvas, do the same here. slowly now bring attention back to breath and body, a little bit of movement. If you're lying back, take your time to come to a seated position. And gather your palms together, thumbs to the sternum. Take the offerings that we found on the mat into the rest of your day. We'll do that through the sound of Om. Sing along, listen, tune it out. Empty out your breath here. Take a deep breath in. Bow in full gratitude to you, each other, this practice. Namaste. Thank you, everybody. I've got plenty of time to stick around.
That music was something there, Betsy. Let it go in the middle of
Right as you're done with the